So I guess it's time to do some commentary. Without further ado, I think I'm just going to get into it. Okay, pushing my view out up in front of me. In fact, before we get to the road itself, let's consider where we're at. It's a Thursday. I don't think the kids are at school in Rutland, so I don't think there'll be anybody at this time of afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. I don't think there'll be any issues with people going to and from school. There might be people finishing work early, so we're going to have to be wary of that. It is the start of the summer holidays. I don't think there'll be many tourists around this area, but you never know. And tourists are dangerous because they don't know where they're going, what they're doing. This is a bus route. I have seen some bus stops, so I've got to be careful of buses stopping, that kind of thing. It also looks like it's a great biking road, so we may have some speed cameras and the like here. I believe that sign's been turned around. It's actually 50 here. Someone's been playing with the signs. Yeah, 50. It is also a farming area. Wow, look at that view. It is also a farming area, so we've got to be careful of slow-moving tractors, that kind of thing. It is a dry day, but I've got to be careful of some microclimates. A bit overcast, may have been raining in some places. So, got 3 vehicles up ahead of us on the road. There's nothing behind us. The road surface isn't too bad. I do know from local knowledge that there's a big crack coming up on the outside here, so I'm just going to move to the inside. There it is. These 3 vehicles are obviously moving slower than us. We're doing about 50, take away the percentages, doing about 53 miles, 54 mile an hour. Car in front is moving quite slow. We've got double white lines, junction here, left and right. Got to be careful of cars coming and shoving their nose out there. It's a bit more dangerous coming from the other way, actually. I'm just taking it easy, easing off a little bit. Got to brow the hill. Beautiful view in front. Checking the mirrors, there's nothing behind us. Quick shoulder check, there's nothing on my side there. Motorcyclist, he was giving it some. Staying over to the left-hand side of the road so I can get a bit of a view. Although it was a fairly open bend, so there's no issues with that. Road surface is fairly bad. I can see some tyre marks on the road there, which means there might be a bump, and there it was. Also, looking across through the gaps in the trees there, I can see what seems to be another road intersecting with this one, so we may have a junction coming up. Something we'll have to be aware of in case some of these turn left and right. Got some more holes in the road there, 50 miles an hour still, checking behind me, nothing. I see a white vehicle through the trees there. Everything seems to be moving at a fairly okay pace so far. I can see a car moving alongside there. He's going to meet us at the junction, no doubt. By the time we get there, there will be a junction, and it looks like it's a crossroads. There's another car there on the right-hand side, so I'm going to take centre spot away from both of them. And there's that car just arriving at the junction there. Got a right-hand bend coming up. I'm going to position myself on the left-hand side of the bend so I can get a better view. In a minute, most of the traffic's travelling at the speed limit, so there's no point in me trying to overtake them. Looking at the distance, I can see some chevron boards, so we know we've got a sharp left-hand bend. I can see the sign as well. I can also see in the distance that we've got a bit of a town, so probably expect another speed limit, or a little village or something there. It looks like the road might go through that, so we're going to have to expect a speed limit or something coming up. Okay, now I've got a vehicle behind me. It looks like a Seat or something like that. Staying on the right-hand side of the road so I can get a view around the bend. Really should have both hands on the yoke, but there we go. Okay, just easing off a bit now. The traffic seems to be slowing down a little bit, so I want to keep my gap between them. Again, staying on the left-hand side of the road so I can make the most of my view. See the vantage point up ahead. That's a fairly easy bend, and as I thought, we are moving towards that village. In fact, I can see the road going through the village up there. So we'll expect the speed limit to come from that. I can see at the top of the hill we have a church up there, and churches are usually parishes, and parish means that it usually has its own speed limit anyway, whether it's a town or not. Checking the speed. Doing about 41 on the clock, 42, so it's about 3 mile an hour difference, so doing about 39 mile an hour, which is fine. I'm going to knock it down a few gears. Sit on the right hand side of the road so I can get a good view, being aware also that we may have traffic pulling out of these junctions here, although they seem Clear at the moment. Got to brow the hill, right hand bend. I can see a junction of something on the left there. It's a village hall from the sign. So I'm just being aware of stuff sticking the nose out there. The vehicle behind me is keeping a good distance behind. I've got some pedestrians walking backwards and forwards. Still 40 mile an hour. Looks like I've got some holes in the road, so I'm going to position my bike to avoid those, but still be on the right hand side of the road to get the view if I can around the bend. Road surface isn't too bad at the minute. We haven't got lots of changing different types of road surfaces, which can be difficult when you're on a bike. Just being careful of the oncoming traffic, moving a little bit closer to the middle of the lane, just to move away from those. Got a cyclist up ahead, but they're on the pavement. Melton Mowbray. Got a 40 mile an hour speed limit, but eventually that will drop to a 30, no doubt. Got jumps on the left hand side, so I'm just moving over to the right a little bit. It's quite a blind junction. Bearing in mind now we have got houses left and right. Any of these vehicles might be anchoring up and turning into a driveway or turning into any of the junctions, so I'm going to give myself plenty of room, and there's 30 mile an hour. Arrows to move back in. That's not a concern for me. I wasn't doing any overtaking. Road and arrows there to make it seem like you're going faster than you are, so you check your speed limit. Let's see, that's still giving me plenty of room. Got a vehicle in the jumps on the left here, and the vehicle in front of me is turning left, so I'm just going to ease off now. He's seen me, I can see him looking at me. Always look at the driver, check they're looking at you. If you can't see the driver or the reflection's too bad, then just keep an eye on the front wheels, see if they're rolling. And just give yourself as much room and slow down as much as you can to stay with the traffic, just to give yourself a chance to stop if they do pull out and don't see you. Staying on the left-hand side of the road here to get a view around that bend. Now I've got it, I'm going to move to the right, just to stay away from these young cyclists in case they come across. Well, back one was a young cyclist. Got kids on the left-hand side of the road, going to stay away from them just in case there's any dicks messing about. Okay, well, there's not much going on. We've got junctions left and right and houses, being aware of those and keeping an eye on them all the time. This junction on the left, I'm just going to position myself between this oncoming vehicle and the junction. Being aware also of all the grids we've got in the road. I am going to take opportunities to keep an eye on my dials in front of me. So temperature's okay, we've got no warning lights. Speed seems to be okay. I'm in third gear, which is fine for this situation, staying over to the left. There's a grid there, so I'm going to move back in a little bit just so I'm not on it. Car on the left-hand side here is going to compromise my positioning for the view, but I am going to stay away from a little bit there. Pedestrian, just going to move away from him. Equidistance between the pedestrian and the oncoming traffic, just to give myself a chance, just in case the craziness happens. Looking into the distance, you can see we've got some traffic lights, look like the pedestrian lights. We've got hatch markings, but there's nothing holding us back from those. So we're just having to stop in those. Looks like we're going to be taking a left-hand turn here. There's no entry to the right. Pedestrian on the left-hand side waiting for a bus. So you've got to be aware of buses. Might be on time for the bus timetable. More pedestrian lights, more pedestrians. Just being aware of them and staying away. Staying over to the left-hand lane, we've got stationary traffic in front of me. I'm going to knock the speed off now. Unless I'm in a rush, I'm not the type of person who pushes to the front of a queue. I can do my overtaking on the open road when it's safe. It's one way to annoy car drivers is you are allowed to go to the front of the queue, but it annoys people, so I tend not to do it. If I'm in a rush, I will. Got a BMW behind me. Traffic lights on green. Still checking to the left in case there's any emergency vehicles, and now we've got these traffic lights here. He's gone for the overtake on the right there. I'm going to join him. We are going to be turning left up here, but I'll filter back in a moment. Checking on my left shoulder as I move back across into the lane. I check my mirror as well. Got hatch markings, but we're moving fine. They're not going to cause any issue. We indicate now, turning left. Just going to check there's nothing sneaking up my inside before I actually sweep to the left. We've got a left green arrow that's changing, and we're going to slow down and stop. Going to take a chance to check my dials again as well. Leave my indicator on. I'm going to select neutral. Just to adjust my position, keep an eye on the junction. See if anything unusual. I'm going to take this opportunity to push my view out over there. Can't really see much. Still on red. I'm going to get ready for green. Got green lights for the pedestrians. They may take the opportunity and go for it. I don't know where they're going. This is a college, it says on our left-hand side, so there may be people still at college. Just being aware, people arriving, being picked up, not paying attention after class. Got that scooter guy on the left-hand side, checking my mirrors, van behind me again. Still got the pedestrian light here, we're still on a red light, so I'm just going to bide my time and wait. Have selected first gear, ready to move off. And there we go, quick shoulder check both ways, and I'm going to move off. And this is a giveaway, so I'm going to check my shoulder. Looks like the college is fairly empty, but we have got those pedestrians we saw at the crossing on the left-hand side and more. So I'm going to stay across to the right-hand side of the road, just stay away from them. Pedestrian lights up in front, and more pedestrians, and it looks like we're in a residential area again. Someone with their dog there, being aware that in residential areas, maybe people out walking their dogs, pulling in and out of driveways, not paying attention to what they're doing, loading cars. Hello, cycle. Just going to select a higher gear to keep the engine noise down a little bit on the bike. The exhaust noise is pretty loud, so I'm just going to, out of respect for the people that live here, just going to keep the engine in a higher gear. Yeah, we've got more dog walkers there. Got to be careful of people going in and out of their driveways. At the minute, it all looks fairly quiet. Still got that white van following me, got a 40-mile-an-hour zone up in front. We're doing 35 at the minute, junction on the left, people on the right with babies, they're not paying attention to us. Up to 40 miles an hour. We'll stay in the same gear, got the cyclist in front of me, hello sir. You see national speed limit apply signs in front, also something on the left, there's a brown sign, so it looks like a leisure park, there we go, leisure park. Going to go speed quickly, got a left-hand bend here. I'm going to try and position my bike in the proper way, got to watch my speed, I've got a bit quick around there. Right-hand bend. He swung quite wide there, probably because of the pedestrians, or he wasn't ready for the bend, may have been distracted. Got slow on the road, so we may have something coming up around this bend. Got some changing road surface as well. It's not causing me too many issues at the moment because it's dry. Got something in the road there, so I'm going to move away from it. Looks like a bag of some sort. Don't know what's in that. 30 miles an hour, braking for that. Traffic island, there's nothing behind me. I'm just going to select a lower gear. Nothing behind me, but I am going to be wary as I join. Quick shoulder check, and we've got stationary traffic on the exit. I'm going to stay in queue. I'm not going to try and jump the traffic here. Again, has a tendency to annoy car drivers if you start jumping the queue. If I'm in a rush, I'll do it. If I'm not, then I might as well sit in the traffic and enjoy overtaking them on the open road. Okay, so we've got vehicles, a vehicle there turned left into one of these side roads. Got to be aware of that. I'm just going to give this person in front a little bit of extra room just in case they anchor up and turn left or right into a driveway or a turning. 40 mile an hour limit ahead. That white van behind us, you see a junction on the left hand side, that white van behind us is slowly catching us up. He seems to be doing more than the speed limit. Which is fine, I'm not going to do that until we get to the 40, then I'm going to increase to about 43, 44. Bearing in mind on the left hand side of the road we've got a different road surface than on this side, again it's dry so that's not too much of a problem. Changing road surfaces here on the junction, just going to be aware of that, a bit of wet that's come off the field. That's okay, it's not going to cause us any issues. Going to be turning right here, checking behind me, white van's way behind. Got a few vehicles, it looks like staying in the right hand lane, ready to turn right. A wagon on the right hand side, I think he's probably going to come this way, yeah I can see his indicator, but we're just going to slow to make sure. We're going to go around the island, there's nothing there on the junction, so that seems fine. We're going to indicate, shoulder check and move into the island. Okay, going to keep our distance on this vehicle in front. It is a 50 mile an hour speed limit down here, so the chances of us being able to overtake them safely and stay fairly within the limit is slim. So I'm just going to sit back. Got a wagon coming very fast, going to give him a bit more room in case he has any issues with steering. keeping my position as much as I can on the road for view, but also safety positioning. We've got some entrances left and right. This is where we've got to start to be really careful for bus stops in the middle of nowhere, farmers with tractors pulling out, and these junctions that are hidden. Just one there on the left is a good example, although to be fair, if it's a vehicle there we would have seen it. It's quite low grass. That TT in front is right at the arse end of that van, so he might not see if that van has to stop suddenly. He'll see the brake lights, that's about it. He won't have any pre-warning of why they're stopping or the stopping itself. Got a junction coming up on the left-hand side here. In fact, just seen a vehicle come out there. Oh, and I've got a little friend that's come into my visor. Got rid of him. Okay, being aware of something might pull into the junction here on the left-hand side, I am positioning the left-hand side of the road to give myself a bit more of a view. It's a shame we have got some traffic in front of us. I'm just going to ease off a little bit to let them clear because we have got a great set of bends coming up that I'm going to enjoy just on the left-hand side there, or entrance, should I say. I do get confused with my entrances and junctions. That's what she said. Yeah, seems like everything's slowing down. Stuck behind that red car. We'll catch up with them later down the road, I'm sure. That white van's quite a distance behind me now. But I'm just going to ease off a little bit. Got oncoming traffic coming around the bend. Nobody seems to be overcooking it, that's fine. I'm going to catch, the minute I start going a bit quicker, I'm going to catch up with them very quickly. So I'm going to wait for this white van's a bit closer. Just ease off a little bit. I'm going to enjoy the bends. Being aware that with the slow-moving traffic, I could come around the bend and there could just be stationary traffic. In fact, I think there might be some traffic lights around here somewhere. So I need to be wary of those. Easing off, braking before the bend, so I can just hold a constant throttle through the bend, and when I see the apex, I can start to accelerate. Doing the same here, easing off, selecting a lower gear, holding a constant throttle, now slowly starting to increase, ease off, slowly starting to increase, but now we've caught up to the traffic, so I'm going to ease off. Staying on the left-hand side of the bend, I can see we've got chevrons and a junction on the right, so I'm just going to give my best chance. We've got a stationary wagon there. I'm going to move a little bit away from him. Looks like we're trapped between the devil and big blue sea there, just going to take a centre position. A junction on the left-hand side of the road here. You're going to have to be careful of all of those types of things as we go up this road. Traffic seems to have sped up a little bit now. We're actually doing the speed limit, which is great, so I'm going to keep that gap. I'm not going to push right up next to him. I'm going to just use my lane as much as I can to get a good view. I've got to brow the hill there. That Volvo just showed it to us. So we're just going to be careful on the throttle as we go over there. It's dry. We've got no issues with wet. Destabilising the bike over brows when it's soaking wet, if you're going really quick, can cause you issues. But you've got to have the bike straight before you go over there. But as it is, that's not going to cause us any problems. Staying on the left-hand side of the road, looks like we've got a sign up there for a sharp left-hand bend. Looks like it's pretty standard stuff, really. The car in front, the red car right at the front, is okay until they get to bends, and then they don't seem to be able to keep a constant speed. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got a sign there of something that I haven't mentioned but has been considered, is horses. We're in horse country. Something we've got to be careful of. I mean, I've got a very loud bike as well. Going to have to be careful of if we do come across horses, the exhaust might spook them. I was going to take a right-on position for the bend there, but we're going to let this wagon go first and then I'm going to move over to get my view. Okay, we've got a crossroads coming up ahead of us. It says reduce speed now. Got plenty of room in front. The guy in front, I've just seen a load of smoke come out of his window, so he's either smoking or vaping. So he's distracted from driving just a little bit. We've got a wagon there that's pulling out. Looks like he's going straight across, but I've got plenty of gaps, so I'm not braking with the rest of them. Looks like we've got indicators here for them turning left. I'm just easing off. In fact, they're all turning left, which is great, because it gives me a nice open road in the front. Can you see me? Thank you, sir. Bearing in mind it is still 50 miles an hour, so I'm going to be sticking to that as much as I can. Within safe limits, of course. So we've got parking on the left, maybe people coming in and out of that. We've got Just the long straighted lines in the middle, which means you can cross them, but be careful, be wary. Probably because of the bends. Got a change in surface here. I'm just going to pick one. I'm not going to go straight down the middle on the slippy bit. Vehicle on the left-hand side looks like they're stationary. So we've got a reminder here that there's farm traffic and tractors turning, so I'm just going to be aware. Always keep a finger hovering over the brake. If you do have to do an emergency brake, you need to load up the suspension first, so you need to start braking gently, and then you can brake hard once the suspension's loaded. If you just yank the brake on without doing anything like that, then your front will give way and slip out from underneath you. Got a junction on the left-hand side for a major road here, the A6006 towards Leicester. We're not going to be turning off down there. I'm going to check my speed, ease off a little bit, and then there's the right-hand turn if you're heading towards Nottingham. Doesn't seem to be anything in the junction at the minute. Under the bridge, staying away from the junction there. We have got a series of bends coming up first to the right. I do know this road, so it's quite a nice bend. I'm going to knock it down a couple of gears just so I can have a little bit of fun on this bend here. Not going to be breaking the speed limits, but we are certainly not going to be braking. There we go, power out the bend. Okay, again, after any turn or anything like that, just give your speedo a little check to make sure that it's not staying up there. There's a lot of wagons on this road, so I do need to be careful of them. Hello to the motorcyclist, he's stuck behind that double white line, he's being a good boy. I don't think I need to keep saying why I'm positioning my vehicle on the left-hand or right-hand side. The only thing is when you're crossing over the centre line, especially in country roads, you've got to be aware that there might be gravel there, or there might be some dirt that's not been cleared away by the tyre tracks. Kind of staying just to the right of the centre to stay out of any of that rubbish, and a bit away from the oncoming traffic. Right, doggies, that's the doctor. Hope you find some homes today. So doing the commentary is making me cough. Okay, watch your speed. I was going a little bit too quick there. One of the problems with having a lovely sports bike that's easy to ride is your speed can creep up in a crazy manner. So there are some cracks in the road, being aware that might get worse further up ahead. Back there was a lot of dirt from farm traffic. If it was wet, that could possibly cause me problems. Still at the moment, we're okay. Just going to sit back here, just to the left of the centre of the road this time. I'm not going to overtake him at the minute. There's no need. They seem to be doing the speed limit. Now this is quite a covered area. Well, not covered, it's quite sheltered, so we have got to be careful. In certain circumstances, a little microclimate. If you don't know what microclimate is where you get a localized issue with the road. So it could be a puddle, could be just wetness on the road, sliminess under trees, that kind of thing. Something to be aware of, and at the minute it seems like we've got a fairly dry road. Horse box right up there. No, it's not a horse box, it's a caravan, small one, right up there in the front, slowing all the traffic down. I can see over the hedges that we've got quite a few houses coming up, so very probably a village, more cracks in the road there. Just got to be careful, it kind of makes the bike a little unstable if you're cracking on. Cracks and cracking on. So yeah, it looks like we might have a village coming up. All the grouped together houses gave us that indication well before we get there, so we know we're going to have to knock our speed off at some point, and here we are, Wimes Wall. Going to ease off a little for that. Make sure I'm doing 30 miles an hour when I go through the speed limit sign. Okay, and as before, I'm going to stay in a fairly high gear just so we keep the noise down. I don't want to annoy any of the locals. Keep an eye on mirrors and everything the whole time as well. That's something that you've got to be careful of, grids in the road, especially when the road's been redone, because the grids can sometimes be several inches below the normal road surface. I'm going to have to select some lower gears here because we're slowing down. Oncoming traffic. It's a Tesla. Got to be careful of Teslas. You can't hear them, although I can't hear much over this. Looks one in the junction on the left-hand side there. In fact, two cars. Just going to try and stay between them and the centre of my lane, just so I can get an idea of what's around the corner. if I'm going to have to brake at all. There's a lot of vehicles parked at the side of the road, which makes it difficult for oncoming traffic, pushing them into our lane. So I'm just going to stay a little bit over to the left, being aware on the junction on the left-hand side. Checking my shoulder, how we do for road surface. Yeah, in villages you find the road surface change quite a lot because there's people have broadband put in, different services, repairs because the roads are used a lot. There's a lot of stop-starting in villages, which breaks up the surface, which means they need repairing more. So you do find you get a lot of changes surfaces within villages. Something to be aware of. Like I said, at the minute it's dry, it's not really causing us any issues. Cyclists. Something I should have mentioned before, cyclists, obviously, if it's on your side of the road, you've got to be aware that you give them plenty of room. I believe it's 1.5 metres, and if they're coming towards you, you've got to be careful that they may be pushed, oncoming vehicles may be pushed onto your side of the road if they're not being patient about passing the cyclist. Something which you might have seen on the way over here, with that white van crossing the double yellow lines at that S-bend. Luckily, I had already moved off his line and into a safe area. Nothing behind me still, got changing the surface here. The big tyre marks on the road gave me an idea that there was a bit of a dip as well, and I felt that on the bike as I went over it. Stuff that you've got to learn to understand and read on the road surface. I'm easing off a little bit, I'm a little bit close to this van. My closeness to him was really restricting my view, so I'm just going to ease off, and as you see, as I ease off, my view opens up completely there. Very easy to run up to the back of things when you're on a bike. It's starting to get some spots of rain on my visor now. Just being aware that may change things for me in the near future, but we'll have to wait and see. Got more speed limits. Looks like I can see lots of roofs and houses, so it's going to be another village. And there it is. Rempston, sorry. 30 miles an hour, which we're doing. See brake lights up ahead. I'm being very aware of what that's for. Looks like it's just the caravan being cautious in the front. Okay, so again, the normal stuff in villages, being aware of people pulling in and out of driveways, junctions, that kind of stuff, just being aware that they may wish to, may not be paying attention and wish to make your day pretty bad. So, well, it's nice, that SVR Range Rover. Always rather have a Jeep over a Range Rover though. Range Rovers are footballers' cars nowadays. They're very capable and very beautiful vehicles, but unfortunately, they've got a bit of a kudos issue. Jeeps are just so much cooler. Okay, sharp right-hand bend here. I'm going to knock it down a gear. And bear in mind there are traffic lights around here, so we might have stationary traffic the minute we come round the bend. I know there's traffic lights from local knowledge, and they are on red, so I'm just going to ease off. Nice little cottage there on the left-hand side. Looks like I could do some work. I'm just going to set off him. Select neutral. Sometimes my neutral light doesn't come on, but I am in neutral, look. Don't know what that is. But hey. Shoulder check before I move off. Now I can see the junction properly. I can see some vehicles waiting to turn. Just going to be careful of the grid that I've just gone over. Like I said, in villages, a lot of changing road surfaces. What's really causing me an issue at the minute. The GSXR rides lovely over the different bumps and jumps. But it's something to be aware of anyway, especially when it's wet. White paint on the road. It's always a bit of a killer. I'm getting a bit close to that line in front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start overtaking these now. Just get up to them a little bit, get my vehicle position correct, and when we get a chance, we're going to start sliding past some of these. So we've got the arrows to move in. I'm going to stay away from that because we've also got an oncoming wagon. We do not want to be like a squished line on the front of that. Now we've got a solid white line, so I might as well just sit here. Easing back a little bit. I don't need to be up his ass to do an overtaking manoeuvre in this because I'm on a bike that can bring the distance down pretty quickly. Okay, so a little brow of the hill. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing coming over. Quick shoulder check. I'm going to move past the first few. That's just the first one. because I need to give myself plenty of room. I don't want to spook out the vehicle coming towards me. Now I'm overtaken in front, I'm going to ease that distance a bit to give him a chance to move ahead in front. Looks like we've got a change in road surface. This shell grip here, shell grip can break up terribly and cause really unstable road surfaces. Excellent when it's first laid, plenty of grip, but it deteriorates really badly over time and breaks the surface. Hello, sir. Okay, minding the pedestrians. Everybody seemed to brake for that quite dramatically. Something we were ready for. That little bit of extra distance that you leave in between the vehicle in front gives you time to deal with stuff like that when it occurs. Okay, I can see signs for a staggered junction here. See, the first is on the right, so I'm going to move a bit over to the left, away from that. Being aware that the road surface might break up as well near the junction because cars stopping. Here we go. I mean, look at that. It's terrible. Because cars stopping all the time to turn right, they break up the surface. The friction eventually brings holes and breaks it up. But as long as we know about it and we're aware, then we can do something about it. So I'm just staying with the traffic. Again, just because I'm with the traffic doesn't mean I can't move my bike in the lane to get views, which I'm doing. I'm staying over to the left. Get a decent view, making sure I get a bit closer just in case I need to, but bear in mind that I'm easing off now, there's no way I can go for an overtake, there's plenty of oncoming traffic, but bear in mind when you do close that you have to be extra attentive to whether someone's going to anchor up or not. Just keeping my position at the minute, there's a lot of oncoming traffic, I'm not going anywhere, I can see it right in the distance, we've got the white van behind the Range Rover, it's like a Discovery. There's a lot of people with those tinted number plates around here, I've noticed. So we've got the arrows moving us back into our lane and double white lines. White van behind me, he's giving me plenty of room, not having any issues with him. Road surface isn't too bad at the minute. That caravan's just making steady progress, there's no issues there. I can see an entrances, but it looks like they're being blocked. Oncoming traffic, hello motorcyclist. Looks like we've got entrances here, maybe to houses because there's cut grass. Where there's cut grass, you know, there's probably residences, not just, look at the difference here, you see. See how it's a lot rougher? Back there I could tell there was houses there with possibilities of people pulling in and out. Got jumps on the right hand side, just easing off a little bit here because I can't see around the bend, see if there's anybody anchoring up to turn right. Got brake lights, but not because of the junction, because of a cyclist, there we go. It looks like they've got room to move past him. I'm just going to move over right to the white line, but back over. They get away from the oncoming traffic. Jumps on the left-hand side, nothing in that. Looks like they've changed speed limit to 50 mile an hour along here the whole way. Got quite a nice view there. It's out over Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. And in the very distance over there, we've got, I believe that's Staffordshire. I'm not sure. Oh no, that's Hinkley Power Station over there. Well, I think that's about it for the commentary. That's pretty much what I'm doing in my head the whole time. I can't say everything when I'm doing it verbally. I can't say everything that I'm seeing because obviously the mind works a lot quicker than the mouth can relay it. So there's a lot of things there that I saw and reacted to, but I didn't necessarily mention. But something that, yeah, you've got to bear in mind that your brain works a lot quicker than my mouth can, so I can't say everything at once. If you follow that kind of thing and you think like that when you're riding, I'm just going to check out that beautiful view. That's just gorgeous. It looks like there's a fire over there. I hope everything's okay. If you follow that kind of thought process whilst riding, it's not going to stop you having an accident, because that's why they're called accidents. They're not supposed to happen. They're not planned. And they can happen, but it will reduce the risk of you getting yourself in a situation where something's going to happen to you. If you push your luck constantly on a bike, one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 decade, you will come short. So here, I'm just going to go back to Coventry a little bit. We've got Stagger Junction, it's quite busy. We've got a lot of oncoming traffic, got traffic left and right, got a runner there on the right hand side. I'm just going to lower gear in case I need to do things, slow down. What's that cost me? That's cost me about 3 or 4 seconds, just slowing down a bit more there. Just to make sure that everything works itself out fine. See me, see me.
Well, that's pretty much it for the video today. We've just got a section of the A50 left, which is pretty boring, so I thought I'd pull over and have a vape and finish up the video here. I hope you enjoyed the commentary earlier. That's pretty much what's going through my brain the whole time I'm riding, trying to keep myself alive. They're great to enjoy bikes, but you've got to be safe on them. The repercussions are pretty bad if you don't get it right. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe, and keep coming back for more. There'll be plenty to come. It's Blazer Moto.